Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So greatly appreciate it. Truly, truly is. Before we start, let me give you my usual disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as fact. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It would really help me out and it would mean so, so much to me. Okay, let's start. 25-year-old Anna Moriah Wilson was born on May 18th, 1996 in Littleton, New Hampshire, to parents Eric and Karen Wilson. She had one sibling, a brother named Matthew. Growing up in Kirby, she attended Burketown School, the Riverside School, Burke Mountain Academy, and Dartmouth College, where she received a Bachelor of Arts in Engineering in 2019. She was a professional bike rider and worked as a demand planner for Specialized. Growing up in Burr, the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, Moriah's love of biking started at an early age, growing her skills and strength as a biker slowly. There are about 2,000 residents in Burr, and it's home to some of the most amazing bike trails in the area. Her father, Eric, taught at Burke Mountain Academy, and he was a former Olympic caliper ski racer, and he raced in the World Cup. Pretty impressive. In 2013, Moriah rose to the level of nationally ranked junior skier, placing third in the U.S. Junior National Championship downhill event. While at Dartmouth, she fulfilled her childhood dream by becoming a member of the alpine ski team. After graduating Dartmouth in 2019, Moriah shifted gears and continued to pursue her athletic dreams as an elite bike racer. After just 2 seasons, she rose to the top of both gravel and mountain racing in the nation, earning numerous victories. Okay, let's keep in mind that gravel riding is not just gravel roads. That's what I thought at first. Honestly, it is. I'll be honest, it is. Then I looked it up. Okay, it also includes tough off-road trails, races of 100 miles or more, crossing streams, going up mountains, and going down loose dirt, gravel, and rocks. So it's no easy task by any means. Moriah loved cooking, writing, and traveling, especially to Italy. A few weeks before her death, Moriah chose to pursue full-time professional bike racing. Her biggest passion, though, was finding ways to give back and inspire around the world. 35-year-old Colin Strickland and Moriah Wilson would first cross paths because they shared a mutual sponsor. Colin Strickland was also a Dartmouth graduate that was living in Austin, Texas at the time with his 34-year-old yoga teacher and real estate agent girlfriend, Caitlin Armstrong. Colin and Caitlin would break up for a short period of time in October of 2021, which is also when Colin and Moriah would start a very brief relationship while she was visiting Austin, Texas. This relationship only lasted until about the beginning of November of 2021, and then Moriah went back home to California. Very, very short. The following month, December of 2021, Colin and Caitlin would end up rekindling their 3-year relationship. Colin and Moriah did remain friends, though, because they were in the same community together, so it's said that they continued a platonic relationship. Caitlin would begin to become very uncomfortable by the number of calls and texts that were coming into her boyfriend's phone from Moriah. So much so that she would block her calls and texts. And then Colin would eventually change her contact to a different name. Right off the bat, this seems to me that Colin is the dirty dog in this situation. Because if you're just friends and it's just platonic, like he says, this is what he says. Why is she texting you so many times? And why do you have to put her under a different name? If it's just platonic and you really love your girlfriend, either you tell her to cool it a little or you just completely break it off with her. That doesn't add up. In January of 2022, the two women would come face to face with each other at a cycling event in Arkansas. It appears as though it was a very strange encounter and that you could pretty much cut the tension with a knife. I don't believe that Moriah truly knew the whole story for two reasons. One, she doesn't come across as the type of person that would have gotten back with somebody who was with a serious live-in girlfriend. Not that she wouldn't be capable of that. I mean, of course she would be capable of that, but it was so brief and they lived so far away. I guess I feel like what would be the point of pursuing that, knowing that he got back with his living girlfriend? And two, because she texted Colin after they left and asked him why the encounter was so strange and to tell her what was going on, and that if he didn't want to see her anymore, that was fine, but she just wanted to talk about it. I guess she just wanted closure, so she wanted to have a conversation with him about it. That does not seem platonic to me at all. Shortly after this, Caitlin finds out that the relationship between Moriah and Colin was a little more than just a friendship, and she was not happy about it. In fact, she was furious about it. So furious that she told friends that she wanted to kill Moriah. Things go quiet for a while, and then in May of 2022, Moriah goes back to Austin, Texas, and crashes at her friend Caitlin Cash's house to compete in a race called Gravel Locos. Austin is also where Colin and Caitlin live as well. May 11th, 2022, Colin makes plans with Moriah to go swimming together, even though his living girlfriend of 3 years, minus the couple weeks that they were broken up, is dead set against it. Colin picks Moriah up at her friend Caitlin Cash's house on his motorcycle at 5:45 p.m. and the two ride over to the City of Austin Deep Eddy Pool and they go swimming. Then they go to Pool Burger to get a bite to eat together. Then they drive around for a bit on his motorcycle, and he ends up dropping Moriah off at her friend's home at 8:35. Her friend, Caitlin Cash, would tell police she got a text from Moriah at 8:36 telling her that she was home. More importantly, Moriah accessed the front door with the code at 8:36, so it was her. She was home. Colin texted Caitlin at 8:36 saying, "Hey, are you home? Went to drop some flowers off for Allison at her son's house up north and my phone died. Heading home unless you have another food suggestion." That doesn't seem platonic either. And why are you lying to her if you're just friends? At 8:37 p.m., a neighbor's security camera gets a picture of a black SUV with a bike rack on it drive up and slow down in front of Caitlin Cash's home. The vehicle had a bike rack mounted on a trailer hitch and a luggage rack mounted on the roof and chrome around the window, which is the same SUV that Caitlin Armstrong drives. Colin arrived home at 8:43 p.m. and says that Caitlin was not home at the time. He says that he started to prep some bicycle gear in the garage until Caitlin arrived home at 9:21 in her black Jeep Cherokee. At 9:52 p.m., police arrive at the residence of Caitlin Cash after she calls police to tell them that her friend, 25-year-old Moriah Wilson, is on the floor of the bathroom, unconscious, with several gunshot wounds to her torso. Moriah was pronounced dead at the scene at 10:10 p.m. Moriah's bicycle was also stolen and then quickly found about 60 feet away hidden in some bamboo. So detectives believe that this was done in an attempt to make it look like a botched robbery. Moriah had told her friend about her plans to go swimming with Colin. When police went to talk to Colin Strickland, they found the Jeep Grand Cherokee at the residence. He told them that he had dated Moriah very briefly and that Caitlin was not happy about the relationship, even though the two were broken up at the time. He goes on to say that between December of 2021 and January of 2022, he purchased 2 handguns, a Springfield Armory for himself and a Sig Sauer for Caitlin. While officers were conducting their interview with Colin, other officers were obtaining and executing a search warrant for the residence of Colin and Caitlin. Once there, they find the 2 guns that Colin was speaking to them about. They also find out that Caitlin has a warrant for her arrest for getting $650 worth of Botox and then skipping out on the bill, telling the people at the esthetician place that she had left her credit card in the car. So she's going to run out to her car to get her card, and then she just takes off. So officers are able to bring her in on that. They begin questioning Caitlin, and they ask her if she knew about what happened to Moriah. She nodded her head and said that Colin had come home and told her that one of the women in his cycling community had passed away. They talked to her about how her boyfriend was seeing Moriah, and she remained completely still. When detectives confronted her with the video evidence of her car driving past the home that Moriah was staying at, she had no explanation as to why her vehicle was in that neighborhood at the time of Moriah's death. As detectives pressed her more about her boyfriend's fling with Moriah, Caitlin became increasingly upset, angry, and agitated until she finally asked to leave. Because of a mistake that was on the warrant regarding Caitlin Armstrong's birthday, they had to let her go. Amateur move. Amateur move. From there, Caitlin took her black Jeep Cherokee over to a car dealership and sold it for $12,500, which is way below the market value for that vehicle, which tells police and FBI that she did not care. She just needed money and she needed it quickly. She then booked a flight from Austin, Texas to New York City under an alias. May 14th, 2022, Caitlin is seen on surveillance camera in the Austin airport boarding a flight to Houston, Texas. She later boarded a connecting flight to LaGuardia Airport in New York. Not long after that, an ID was issued under her sister Christine Armstrong's name. I suppose this could be a coincidence, but Christine's last known address was California, and a request for a new ID was done on the same day that police put out a warrant for her sister Caitlin Armstrong's arrest. So it just feels kind of fishy, because they're strikingly similar to each other. So if she wanted to, she could pretend to be her sister. The address that was listed on the new ID was for a place called Camp Haven that is located in Livingston Manor, New York. Caitlin's sister Christine works at the camp and has been a resident there as well. A search of Camp Haven was conducted, but Caitlin was not found. May 18th, 2022. She's last seen at Newark International Airport. From there, U.S. Marshals lose track of Caitlin and begin suspecting that Caitlin has left the country and that she's probably in Mexico or Canada. Boyfriend Colin Strickland goes into hiding in an undisclosed location underground because he says that he's fearful that Caitlin will come after him next. Colin says in an interview that he and Caitlin were broken up at the time that Moriah came to visit, and that it had nothing to do with Moriah. That it was just a coincidence that they had broken up. It just happened to be good timing, I guess, twice. He says that Caitlyn was seeing someone else and had moved on, and they only had ties to each other because they had several businesses together, one being restoring old vintage trailers. But if that's true, then why did you lie to Caitlyn about your whereabouts on May 11th, 2022? Like, why did you have to tell her that lie about going to bring flowers to your friend's son? If she doesn't care, if you're broken up and she's moved on and she's seeing other people and you're just keeping the peace for your businesses. Caitlyn's father says that his daughter is not a violent person and would not be capable of doing something like this. Ballistics from the crime scene matched the bullets to the gun found in Colin and Caitlyn's home that Colin claimed he purchased for Caitlyn as a gift in January of 2022. So, was she planning this since January? Were they planning this together? Or was this just another coincidence? July 1st, 2022, 43 days after going on the run, Caitlyn Armstrong is found at a hostel on Santa Teresa Beach in Costa Rica. She's arrested and transported back to the United States.
Here's some of the details about the capture of Armstrong, that the U.S. Marshal's Office tracked her down. This is the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, along with Homeland Security Investigations, discovered her flight pattern using a fraudulent passport. She got on a United flight in Newark on May 18th and arrived in San Jose, Costa Rica later that night. That she sold her Jeep Grand Cherokee in Austin to a CarMax for more than $12,000. Right after she was questioned by authorities. She got a check from the dealership the day after she was questioned by Austin authorities, and then she left the following day, May 14th. Those are some of the details, but incredible work by our fugitive task force.
A man in Costa Rica that knew Caitlyn and had dated her a couple times spoke to a news outlet and was shocked that this was the same person. He had no idea. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
Ari was a strange person, but I met her right outside the tattoo shop, Good Life Tattoos, and her friends were getting tattooed, so she was waiting out there on the bench, and I was out there having a beer in the lounge, and it became apparent to me that she was trying to have a conversation, trying to get to know me. So then I started talking to her more and more, and then we ended up sharing numbers, and we're gonna hang out later, and we ended up hanging out a bunch of times later. And we went on a couple dates, but she said that she had just been through a real traumatizing breakup, and she hadn't healed from it yet, and wasn't ready to get close at all. So we were just being friends, and wanted to go out at different places. We went out to a bunch of different spots, but most of the time she wanted to kind of be a secluded spot, not a lot of people. And I didn't put any of it together. You wouldn't imagine it, but after it all happened, went by, and you hear what she was really doing and running from, it made sense why she didn't want to be seen, why she wanted to go to real secluded places, and it all kind of made a little more sense. They were using the old pictures, and I was like, oh, I don't know her. But then afterwards, they did the updates of the pictures of when she had her face lift or face change, and I was like shocked. I was like, what? That was who I've been hanging out with this whole time. And
all right, guys, if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. All right, this is as far as we've gotten so far with this, but I'm going to follow this case because I really want to know how this turns out, and hopefully you guys will follow it with me so that we can cover this together. If you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It would mean so much to me. It truly, truly would. If you have any case suggestions, email me at harding527@yahoo.com. As long as the information is on my side, I'm pretty good about covering your cases for you. And until next time, stay safe, and I love you all, and I appreciate you all. I truly, truly do. I love hearing from you guys. I love your comments. It really makes my day. It really, really does. I have to tell you guys one more thing before I go. There's so many days that I'm like, I gotta give this up. This is just, it takes so much, and it's just not growing as fast as I thought. And then I get messages from you guys, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I gotta keep going. And it's you guys that make me keep going. I promise you, hand to God, it truly, truly is. So I thank you guys so, so, so very much from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I think I would have quit this like months ago. So I love you all, and stay safe. Bye, guys.